Good morning, Year 5 and 6, and welcome to our read-day. The religion we're focusing on today is Judaism. Before we begin our introduction to Judaism, I'd like you to have a pen and a piece of paper available. It's really important you have your equipment because there are some quizzes for you to complete within this video. So pause the video here if you haven't got your equipment and go get hold of it. Okay, so let's begin. Firstly, I'd like to ask you, can you name the 6 different religions we study here at Franklin? So 6 religions we study here at Franklin. On your piece of paper, you need to write 1 to 6 and name the different religions. If you don't remember a religion, that's absolutely fine. Leave it blank and you can come back to it once I give you the answer. Okay, so I'm going to reveal the 6 different religions we study here at Franklin, and maybe you remember the different religions we've studied so far. We've studied Hinduism, Christianity, which we did last term, Judaism, which we're doing today, Buddhism, Islam, and humanism. So those are the 6 different religions we study here at Franklin. Now I've got a question for you, and that is, why do we study different religions? Why is it important for us to study religions? So I'd like you to pause the video and write down your answer for this question. Okay, so I'm going to reveal the different reasons why we study religions here at Franklin. The first one is there are different religions in our school. We all follow different religions, and some of us don't follow a religion at all, which is absolutely fine. But we should be respectful and tolerant of each other's religions. So we need to be very mindful when we're asking questions, that we're asking respectable questions, because we do not want to hurt any of our peers' feelings. There are different religions here at Franklin, and that is what makes us unique. Unique means it makes us different. It's what gives us our identity and makes us different from one another. And then lastly, knowing about people's religions helps us to understand others better, and it ensures we respect them. So again, just like I said, asking questions, you really need to make sure you're asking questions that are polite and not to hurt other people's feelings. So again, if you do have any questions, please write them down so you can ask your teachers during your briefings, or you can send it in on Seesaw and we can have a discussion around that. Our last RE day, we learnt about Christianity. So let's see what you remember. So there's going to be 4 questions. On your piece of paper, you need to write 1 to 4 and answer these 4 questions. So the first one is, where is their place of worship? So where do Christians go and worship? The second one is, what is the name of their holy book? So what is the name of Christians' holy book? Number 3, name a key figure in Christianity. So a key figure is someone that people look up to. Number 4, name a religious festival that Christians celebrate. So you have 4 questions to answer here, and you're just going to write down the answer. Okay, so I'm going to reveal the answers to you all. Please make sure you're marking through your answers as well. So the first one, Christians worship in a church or a cathedral. The name of their holy book is called the Bible. And remember, the Bible has an Old Testament and a New Testament as well. Number 3, the name a key figure in Christianity. A key figure is Jesus or Moses. And then lastly, name a religious festival that Christians celebrate. So we had Christmas that just went on 25th of December, Easter, which is actually coming up in April, and then Christingle. So well done if you've got those 4 questions correct. We're just ticking through, and if you haven't, just write them in with a different colour pen, and that way you can remember them. Okay, so like I said, we're going to look at Judaism. That is the religion we're focusing on today. My lesson will be an introduction into Judaism, which will look at brief aspects into the religion, and then you're going to go into the religion further with your next few lessons. Firstly, before we start, I'd like you to see what you already remember. Remember, we study these religions here at Franklin, so you would have actually completed some lessons on Judaism. So let's see what you remember. It's fine if you don't remember anything, just write down 1 to 4, and then you can come back to these questions at the end of the video because you should be able to answer the questions by the end of today's video. So the first question is, where is their place of worship? The second one is, what is the name of their holy book? The third one is, name a key figure in Judaism. So a key figure is someone that Jewish people look up to. And then number 4, name a religious festival that Jewish people celebrate. So again, 1 to 4 answering these questions. Please leave it blank if you don't remember, or really push yourself and have a go. So I'm actually not going to reveal the answers to you because by the end of today's video, if you've left anything blank, you should be able to go back in and answer the questions. So let's start. The firstly, there are roughly around 14.5 million Jewish people across the world, and this is a global map. This is a global map which shows us the Jewish population in the 2000s. So as you can see, using the key here, in some parts of the world there are around roughly 5 to 10 million Jewish people. In other parts of the world there are roughly around 10 to 100 Jewish people. So maybe pick a location and identify how many Jewish people there are roughly. Let's start. Jewish people believe in one Hebrew God. They believe that he created the world and he knows everything. So, for example, if we were to compare this to another religion like Christianity, Christians also believe in one God, and they believe that Jesus created everything and he knows everything. So again, a similarity between the two religions is that they believe in one God. How it began. So Judaism actually has no founder. But Jewish history begins with a covenant, which is a promise established between God and Abraham around 1812 BCE during the Bronze Age in the Middle East. So as you can see, Abraham is probably going to be a key figure in Judaism, and you'll find out why. But you can see the religion began with a promise between God and Abraham. Abraham is considered to be the father of Jewish people. He is seen as a person who symbolizes trust in God. So this is who Jewish people look up to. He was faced with some difficulties during his life, but he always believed that God would guide him in the right way. And this is the reason why Jewish people look up to Abraham, because he is considered to be the father of Jewish people, as he did go through some difficult decisions within his life. Passover. So this is a religious festival that Jewish people celebrate. So Passover is a celebration of the story of Exodus, where Jewish people remember how their ancestors left slavery behind them when they followed Moses out of Egypt. Ancestors refers to a family member who lived a very long time ago. So they eat a Passover meal that represents different parts of the story. So for example, the egg here, a hard-boiled egg is a symbol of mourning, which means death. This is to remember the deconstruction of the temple in Jerusalem. So it also has another meaning. Food usually becomes quite soft when it's cooked. However, an egg becomes quite hard. So the egg is a symbol of Jewish people's determination to keep their faith because of the symbol it shows. So to keep their faith is another symbol the egg shows here. So they eat different parts of their meal to represent different parts of the story. Hanukkah is another religious festival that Jewish people celebrate, and it is the festival of light. And the word Hanukkah means dedication in Hebrew, and it celebrates a miracle that happened in Jerusalem over 2,000 years ago. So it's a week-long celebration for Jewish people, and they light candles. So as you can see here, this candle holder is actually called a menorah, and it's what holds the candles, and each of them symbolizes a special meaning. So this is a week-long festival that Jewish people celebrate, and it's called Hanukkah. So the Star of David is a symbol of Judaism as a religion and of the Jewish people as a whole. So this is a symbol that symbolizes their religion. So the star is a symbol that symbolizes Jewish people's religion. Different denominations, so this means different types of Jewish people, and if you remember in Christianity there were also different types of Christians, such as Orthodox and Pentecostal. So that's the same within Judaism as well. So Judaism has various different denominations or sects. Today the main divisions are Orthodox, Conservative, Reform and Reconstructionist movements, with several movements alongside them. So these are the different types of Jewish denominations. Where do Jewish people worship? So a place of worship is either where Jewish people go to almost feel as a sense of a community or go to pray. So the synagogue is the place of worship for Jewish people, but it also can be used as a place to study and often as a community centre as well. And that is because it brings people together. It reunites the community together, and they can feel at one with their faith, as that is what they share, as that is what they all share together. So a synagogue service is usually led by a rabbi, and that is the person who leads the prayer, or within the community as well, if they're running a service, that is the person who would lead that. So as you can see, this picture here is actually an image of a synagogue. Have any of you gone to visit a synagogue? It would be interesting to know. You can let your teachers know on Seesaw if you have ever been to a synagogue. The Torah, so this is a holy book. So the Jewish people's holy book is called the Torah, and it's actually written in Hebrew. It is the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, and this is what Christians call the Old Testament. So the Torah is so special that people are actually not allowed to touch it. And as you can see here in this image, there are actually children looking over at the Torah. So they're not allowed to touch it because it is very special. A religious day, so Sabbath is the Jewish people's holy day. So this is set aside for rest and worship. So on Sabbath, this is the day for Jewish people to rest and worship, and it begins on sunset on Friday, and it finishes when the sun sets on Saturday. So it's between sunset on Friday and ends on sunset on Saturday. So during Sabbath, Jewish people eat special food. So Jewish people don't eat pork or shellfish. Food must be prepared in a certain way according to Jewish tradition, and this is called kosher. So for example, the meat that some Jewish people eat is of kosher, and they have to go to special butchers to actually buy this meat. Clothing, so this is some of the religious clothing that Jewish people wear, such as a talit, which is a Jewish prayer shawl, so it's almost like a scarf, and then a kippah, which is a skull cap, and it's often worn by men. So as you can see in this image here, the men are actually wearing a kippah, and this is a skull cap that they wear. We're now going to go revisit the quiz we did earlier, and that was to find out what you know about Judaism. So I've covered these 4 questions now, so you should be able to answer them if you left them blank earlier. So the first one is, where is their place of worship? Number 2 is, what is the name of their holy book? Number 3 is, name a key figure in Judaism. So this is someone that Jewish people look up to. And then number 4, name a religious festival that Jewish people celebrate. So you have 4 questions and you need to answer them if you didn't earlier. And if you did earlier and you've realized that you've maybe written something down wrong and you're able to change it, please make sure you make that correction now before I reveal the answers to you. Okay, so given that you've answered all 4 questions, even if you are not able to answer the question, please really push yourself and try to answer the question. It's really important that we persevere. So I'm going to reveal the answers to you, and if you've got them correct, please tick them. And if you haven't, please go in and write the correction. So, where is their place of worship? So the place of worship is a synagogue. So this is where Jewish people go to pray, and as you know, it can be used as a community centre as well, or a place for people to come and study. So feeling at one and reuniting with the community is where Jewish people can go. Number 2 is, what is the name of their holy book? The name of the holy book is the Torah, and remember it's written, the first 5 chapters are written in Hebrew, and this is what Christians call the Old Testament. Number 3, name a key figure in Judaism. So this is who Jewish people look up to, and that is Abraham. And number 4 is, name a religious festival that Jewish people celebrate. So the first one that we looked at was Passover, and then Hanukkah, which is a festival of light. So well done if you got through right to the end of the video and you got all 4 questions correct throughout. So please make sure you upload your quiz answers onto Seesaw for your teachers to see your great work.